Hello, this is Dr. Victoria Skirbo, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. And this is going to be part of a series where I do the numerology and Kabbalah of the people running for President of the United States in 2020. I'm including the people who have announced that I can get the information on. The thing is with numerology in Kabbalah is that all you really need is somebody's name and their date of birth. It's actually easier than astrology in that with astrology to get an accurate astrological reading you need their time of birth, and very often that's not available to the person or to the public. And I think it would be a great idea to put, if you're a public servant, to put your birthday and time, because it would help us to evaluate the person better and sort of give us a broader picture of them. So, but that's my own thoughts on it. So we're going to start with the first person that I'm aware of to announce. Actually, I think there's one person that announced before her, but I'm going to put this light on so you can see what's behind me. And this is for Elizabeth Warren. She announced on the 31st of December 2018, and she announced for having an exploratory committee, but it's always sort of been thought that she was going to run for president as a progressive candidate, and in fact that is what she is running. She's running for the Democratic nomination, and she is running on a more progressive sort of Medicare for all and taxing the rich and holding the bankers and Wall Street accountable. So what I'm going to do with these is I'm going to try to keep out my own personal opinion out of this. This is a journey of learning, of how to utilize numerology and Kabbalah to sort of evaluate people. And I'm going to try to stay as balanced as I can with the information that I have. So, of course, what's interesting about this particular election is that there are a lot of women running. And of course, most women are known by their maiden names, by their marriage names. Elizabeth is Elizabeth Warren, but she was not born Elizabeth Warren. And so, as far as a question with what name do you go by the name that you're born with, the name on your birth certificate, unless there's been some sort of clerical error, and say that you have an extra letter or they misspelled your name and that's not what your parents intended. You pretty much go by that name, and of course the date that you were born. So we have Elizabeth Ann Herring. She was born, I believe, in Oklahoma in 1949. She was born 6/22, which is June 22nd, 1949. And so when we do, and I actually have done this on her before, so if you want to look back into my other ones, my other, famous people that I did these on, you could go back to that. And so you might find that I'm saying similar things as I did in the first one. But I thought I want this to be a series, so we'll do everybody, even if I've already done them before. Okay, so we have Elizabeth Ann Herring, and your name is the vibration that you come in on in a lifetime. And so within it, it holds everything that you have worked on previously, and your talents, your abilities, the things that you need to stay in good relationship with in your life, how to find balance within yourself. It's sort of like the maintenance that you need to keep in order to keep yourself healthy and balanced and whole or integrated. And then we have the day of your birth, which is the life lesson. And so that is perhaps something that you're not necessarily good at least at the beginning. This is your sort of your learning curve. And then the last number that I use is something called a shadow vibration. And the shadow or the eccentric angle is the vibration where this is the wound. Okay, and what the wound acts as, in my experience anyway, is that it's the wound that generally drives us to do the things that we do, in an attempt to either cover it up or to heal it. Okay? Sometimes that wound is an unconscious wound, And it is generally not just connected to this lifetime, but previous lifetimes as well. And so let's talk about her name. Now, she was born Elizabeth Ann Herring in Oklahoma. And so the first thing we do is we separate out the vowels and the consonants. The vowels in your name is called your soul vibration or your inner feminine. This tends to be the more introspective, inner, yin, energy moving in kind of vibration. The consonants, if we add those together, we get something called the outer personality or the quiescent vibration. And this is our outer self. This is the self that, people meet. This is, most people recognize this energy within you because this is the yang force. This is what you put out. And then we have the whole name, which is the soul vibration and the outer personality added together. And that gives us an idea of how we balance our inner and outer self. That's more of how we can integrate ourselves. Okay, so let's look at Elizabeth. And so when we look at Elizabeth, her name Elizabeth actually vibrates to a 43/7. Okay, so Elizabeth as a name is is a more introspective, emotionally oriented, analytical name. Okay, so there's a, when you're named Elizabeth, you already have that analytical ability within you. Okay, and we add up the 20, the 1, and the 14 from her name, from the vowels of her name, and we get a 35/8 vibration. Now, the 35/8 vibration is actually a vibration associated with the sign of Sagittarius. And Sagittarius really is all about the search for truth and the search for meaning in life. And so, on a soul level, she's very much interested in getting down to the truth of things. The 8 vibration here, okay, is a vibration of as you sow, so shall you reap. Okay, so there's a karmic connection with the 8. There's an understanding that that actions have consequences, and so there's a deep understanding of karma, and that you pay for the things that you do or that you don't do. Okay, so there's an understanding there. And this is a very powerful energy. So we're dealing with a powerful soul energy. And if we look at the tree of life behind me here, we'll see that this soul vibration sits right here in the tree of life in a place called Yesod. Now, Yesod is, the word Yesod means foundation. And it is connected with, if we overlay the chakra system on this, is connected with the sacral chakra, the second chakra, sort of the belly chakra, okay? And that's the place where we relate to other people on the physical plane. That's the place where we have our generative organs. That's the place where we sort of take in sustenance with, if you look at what organs are in that area, we have the generative organs, and then we have the digestive organs. We have the intestines, the small intestines, and then the large intestine there. And so what that does is it determines, it extracts the nutrients out of the food and then allows the waste to pass, right? And so it's about extracting. There's a sense of extraction here. And there's also a sense of not so much survival as thrival. Okay, so survival is more of a root chakra issue, but thrival is more of that belly chakra, and it's a very powerful place. There's that sense of like fire in the belly, but it's also where we are nurtured. It's actually connected with the element of water, and so there's a give and take, and there's a flow. And Elizabeth is actually a Cancer, so that sort of goes along with the fact that she is a Cancer sun, and she has Uranus in Cancer as well, conjunct her sun. But we're not going to really talk about. I'll talk a little bit about her astrology as we go through this, but I want to do the astrology as something separate. And so here we have somebody who's very connected to both a sense of responsibility, 8, very connected to that part of the body that's interested in nurturance and interested in making sure that people are taken care of. That chakra deals sort of with that and our relationships and how we relate to one another. So that's very important. Plus it has the overlay of Sagittarius, which is about truth. Okay, so this is who she is at a soul level. Now, if we add up her outer personality, we get a 71/8 vibration, and we see the 8 again. This 71/8 vibration is actually found in the place on the Tree of Life called Baina. Okay, and Baina here is part of the Trinity, or the upper tree. We have Kether, which is unity, Hokmah, which is the yang force, or force, and then we have Baina, which is form. So this is unity, this is divine masculine and divine feminine. And so there's this energy of the divine feminine that she holds. Now, Baina, as a place on the Tree of Life, is the place of darkness. It's a place where we find ourselves in periods of time in our life where we have to move through the darkness. And in order to find the light, we have to look within. So it's the place where we find the inner light. And so people who have vibrations in Baina have suffered in their life and have suffered in past lives in an attempt to find the inner light, to find that place within them. And so she has access to her inner feelings. Baina is associated with the divine feminine. We are born at a time when the feminine is not valued. And so that is a wounding experience as well. And yet that vibration, that 71/8 vibration, is actually the Queen of Pentacles. And so the Queen of Pentacles in the chart is very much, she's very stable. And when you look at the Queen, and let me see if I can find the cards here. Did I not bring them down? I don't think I brought them down. In the deck, the Queen of Pentacles is looking down at the pentacle, sort of like appreciating it, surrounded by nature and surrounded by the beauty of nature. So that energy understands the value of things. Okay, understands the value of things, and it's a Capricorn. It's a Capricorn, actually a Capricorn Taurus vibration. It's a combination of those vibrations, both very practical and both very grounded. And of course, Elizabeth's big thing is money and resources and making sure that the middle class can take care of their essential needs, which is very much a Taurus thing, and then has opportunity to aspire and actually make something of themselves. That's a Capricorn thing. So we can see this sort of truth and truth, justice, and the American way kind of thing in her name. And then when you add those two numbers together, we actually get a 106 vibration. The type of numerology that I use only goes up to 78 because I use the tarot cards with it. And so you add the 106, 10 plus 6, and we get the 16-7 vibration. And the 16-7 vibration is actually the Tower card in the tarot. And on the Tree of Life, it sits right here in the solar plexus. So the 16-7 is about being true to yourself. And it's about transformation and changing. Okay, because it's about the breaking down of false personas to find the core of who we are. And so in order for her to find balance, she has to be true to who she is. She has to be, she needs to be true to who she is. Otherwise, things fall apart for her. So we'll know how true she is being to herself. Now, falling apart does not necessarily mean winning and losing. It means being in integrity with yourself, okay? And having it in the solar plexus, this is the chakra associated with personal will and the fire in the belly. And so we can see that she has a lot of fire in her belly. She's a fighter, and she's going to fight for the right. She's going to fight for the people. She's going to fight for the middle class. And it's in her chart, okay? So that is what we see in Elizabeth's name. Now, if we look at her date of birth, which is her life lesson, we come and we get a 51/6 vibration. Now, the 51/6 vibration is associated with the sign of Libra. And Libra is associated, of course, with balance and fairness, okay? And so in this lifetime, she has come to learn issues or lessons around balance and fairness. And now the 6 vibration as a base vibration She's come here to learn about responsibility and community service. What's your responsibility and what's not your responsibility? 6 is also the vibration of love. Love is love, conditional love. What conditions do you put on love? Okay, I will love you, and it's personal love. It's not impersonal love. Impersonal, unconditional love is more of a 9 vibration. This is the 6 vibration. So this is how we interact with people in the community. I love you, you love me, you have to be kind to me, right? You can't be beating me in the head. That's not love. That's a condition that you will not be in my life if you do that. That's kind of what I mean by conditional love here. So it's the conditions that you put on love, or it's the conditions that you put. What is your responsibility as a person within the society, and what is that other person's responsibility to the community and to society and to you as a person. So these are the lessons that we learn in 6. Now, if we look on the tree of life where this sits, it actually sits here in Hokmah. So she has a vibration in Bina, which is divine masculine, and Hokmah, which is Bina, which is divine feminine, and Hokmah, which is divine masculine. And so she has within her, she's higher up on the tree. When you have things higher up on the tree, it doesn't necessarily mean you're more evolved necessarily, but what it means is that you have more influence. The higher up on the tree, the more influence you have on the lower part of the tree. And so that's true of more influence for good or more influence for bad. Okay? Having her life lesson up here in Hokmah. Hokmah is the place of hidden talents. And so this is the place where you may not know you can do something until you actually try it. And so there's this need to, like, if at first you don't succeed, try again. So there is a persistence that comes with this number vibration, and it's a persistence that you need to have. Okay. All right. So let's talk about her shadow, because I think her shadow really informs who Elizabeth Warren is. And we have her shadow at, if we take her name Elizabeth, which vibrates to a 43, and we take her day of birth, and that's how you get the shadow vibration, which is a 22. First of all, she has a 22. She's born on the 22nd. That's a master spiritual builder. Anybody who has a 22, especially as the number, the day that they were born, has that capacity of master spiritual builder. You were born on a master number, just like people born on the 11th are born on a master number. Okay. So that's significant. We add those together, we get a 65 over 11 vibration, a master number vibration. Okay. When you have master numbers in your chart, everybody will says, "Oh, I want a master number," but let me tell you, master numbers, the more is given is more is expected, and so it's not easy to have a master number. There's a lot of struggle because you're trying to keep balance through extremes, and that's what 11 is: keeping your balance through the extremes. Now, the 6511 is actually also found in Hokmah, and it's associated with the sign of Capricorn. Of course, Capricorn rules Capricorn rules banks, right? And the structures of power. And this is where she has her wounds. So this is one of the reasons why I believe she fights for fairness. 11, which 11 is the justice card, if you just take 11 separately. So we know that it's about fairness and justice. And the 6511 is about sort of the hierarchical structure of things. It's also associated with the masculine, okay, or the father. This is mother, this is father. And what's interesting is that her father, when she was young, had a heart attack and couldn't work, and her family almost lost their house, and her mother had to go to work and worked at Sears in a base level job, and they were able to keep their house. And she was able, because of the help that she got through programs, to go to college, become a teacher, then go to grad school, go to law school, or wherever she went, and then she became a teacher, and now she's a state senator. And the reason, and she came from meager beginnings, and so she understands what it's like to have to fight her way, but she had help along the way, and she appreciates that help. It's in her chart that she appreciates that help. So this 6511 vibration, the wounding of her father losing his job, brought out a wounding that she had within her And that drives her so that other people won't have to feel that sting, that other people won't have their lives turned upside down because somebody got sick. Okay, that's why she supports, you know, taxing those who have more, and social safety nets and Medicare for all and taking care of the consumer. This woman is very much true to her numbers and true to her essence when it comes to looking at her numbers. So that's what I'm going to say about her. The one thing about the shadow is that the more that you heal in the shadow, it becomes the thing that you're known for. So the simple fact that she is known as, the pit bull, she persisted, as not to let Wall Street and the banks get away with stuff, says to me that this will probably be her greatest gift, to the country and to humanity as it stands here in the United States and abroad, probably, because nothing happens in a vacuum. So she's a very, very powerful woman. Now, I want to talk a little bit about this right here. This is your divine triangle. And what you do is you put your name, your first, and if you have a second name, around the divine triangle. Each one of these lines is a 9-year cycle. Okay? And right here, she's up here on this line. Okay? This is the line that runs from age 63 to age 72. And in this particular square that's made up of ETH from her name and the year of her birth, 1949, which vibrates to a 23, we have a 5611. And so this is about balance, okay? Her path of life was actually, if she was successful, it was actually sort of created in her life from age 27 to 54. This is her, what we call your power square, okay? This is the youth square. The youth square is usually somehow associated with the shadow. And here we have the 32/5 vibration. And 5 is about change. And 5 is also the heart chakra. So this has to do with chaos. It can have to do with a certain amount of chaos and change. And it's interesting that her father, shadow here, had a heart attack in her youth, and it informed the rest of her life. Okay, the rest of her life here in Hokmah, in her power, figuring out number 6, who's responsible for what, and what we need to do to help support each other within community. And so now she's coming into this wisdom square, because this is the wisdom square. And she's on her second line here. On the election of 2020, I believe she will be 71 years old. She'll be actually be in the last year of this. And then at 72, she moves in onto this line, which is an 8 vibration, which vibrates to both her quiescent and her soul vibration. So that's pretty powerful for her. This vibration that she's been on since she was 63, the 20/2 vibration, is the judgment card. That's Gabriel blowing his horn, waking up. This is the awakened soul. And so this is the process of her awakening. And let me just see, 1949 and 63. So 2012. So this was 2012 for her. That's when she actually ran for senator in Massachusetts and she won. So that process, her becoming a senator, before that, she was an advisor to presidents and the first lady with Hillary Clinton, and she did other things. She's very well thought of. She did a lot of work. She's very smart. This woman is very smart. Okay, but it wasn't until she was 63 that she threw her, so to speak, her hat into the ring, and she has been waking up ever since. And she really is a firebrand. Okay, because that path, that judgment path, is associated with the planet Pluto. and the element of fire. And so she is waking, as she wakes up, as she's waking up, she is waking us up. And this 5611 is that Libra. Okay, it's about balance, it's about what's fair. Interestingly enough, in the chart for the United States, Saturn is in Libra. And Saturn, of course, is often considered the boss, right? So she vibrates in that respect too. So whether or not she wins the nomination and then the presidency, she definitely has the stuff. She's made of the stuff that could get her there. She's also, as you see her, she is who you see. There really isn't. This is the Elizabeth Warren that you see. This is not an act for this woman. That's what I can tell you from looking at her numbers. When she does have on the election, on the day of the or the time of the election, she's actually going to be. I don't know if you can see this. She's actually going to be in a 32.5 vibration, a personal year 32.5. That's change. Okay, it's also about being in the heart. It's connected to her youth square. Okay, we can see that that's there. So there's a connection there. But 32/5 is both the shadow vibration and the path of life for the United States of America. And so the United States having a 32.5 path and a 32.5 shadow means that America has come to heal that wound. Okay, and of course 32/5 is about freedom. Freedom vibrates to 32/5. And so the fact that in 2020 she's going to be in a 32.5 year connects her to the United States very intimately. And at the time of the election, she's going to be in a 10-1 period, and a 10-1 period is a change of fortune. And so she will have a change of fortune due to the election. Now, does that mean that she wins it? Does that mean whoever wins it makes her part of the cabinet? I don't know. And it's early, and we have to see what happens and what's going on. But for the most part, this woman is who she seems to be. Okay. All right, I think I'm going to leave it at that. I could go on and on and on, but I want to, like I said, I want to do this for each of the candidates as they announce, and she was the first to announce. Um, yeah, so I hope you enjoyed that. If you would like something like this done for yourself, that's easy enough. You can contact me. I do these for people. It helps you to understand who you are, where you've come from, where you're going, and I can add the astrology, and it's really a very profound type of reading that you will be happy you did. So like and subscribe, and I will see you again soon for another look at another of the candidates. Have a great day.